Hi and welcome back to Top 10 Today. In this channel, we talk about the curious and interesting oddities of the world around us, so if you are a fan of this type of content, you are in the right place, here at Top 10 Today. In today's video we will talk about borders, and specifically about the 10 most unusual borders in the world. But before we get started with all of that, please don't forget to give us a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button at some point during this video, and if you'd like to support the channel, please have a look in the description below where you will find links to YouTube Super Thanks and Amazon shopping links. Now let's get into today's video. Our number 10 is the border between India and Bangladesh. The unique aspect of their border is the existence of 111 Indian enclaves within Bangladesh and 51 Bangladeshi enclaves within India. An enclave is the territory of one country, completely surrounded by the territory of another country. One of the most notable enclaves is the Dahala Kugrubri enclave, which is a Bangladeshi enclave located within India. This enclave is made up of 3 small villages and is home to around 50,000 people. The Dahala Kugrubri enclave is surrounded by India on all sides and can only be accessed through Indian territory. There are also Indian enclaves located within Bangladesh, the largest of which is the Balatpura Kugrubri enclave, which is also home to around 50,000 people. This enclave is made up of several small villages and is surrounded by Bangladesh on all sides. In addition to these enclaves, there are also a number of counter-enclaves, which are enclaves within enclaves. For example, the Indian village of Upanchauki Bajni is located within the Dahala Kugrubri enclave, which is itself located within India. These enclaves were created to help the various ethnic and linguistic groups that fell on the opposite side of the border when India and the then East Pakistan split in 1947, but their existence has created a number of complex legal and administrative issues for their inhabitants. Our number 9 is the border between Canada and United States. The first characteristic of this border is its massive size. In fact, it is the longest international border in the world, stretching over 5,000 miles. Another unusual feature of this border is Derby Line, Vermont, a small town that is split down the middle by the border. The town is home to the Haskell Free Library and Opera House, a unique building that straddles the border between the United States and Canada. Visitors can cross from one country to the other just by walking through the library. The unique location of the building is a result of the border between the two countries being redrawn in the late 19th century. When the border was first established, the land on which the library was built was part of the United States, but when it was redrawn, the library ended being on the Canadian side. Our number 8 is the border between Belgium and the Netherlands. The border between these two countries make it to our list thanks to the town of Barle-Nassau, a small Dutch enclave located within Belgium. Barle-Nassau has several Belgian enclaves within its borders, and it also has one exclave in Belgium. This means that there are some areas in Barle-Nassau that are surrounded by Belgium, and there is also an area of Barle-Nassau that is separated from the rest of the municipality by Belgian territory. The history of this complex border dates back to 1843 when a Dutch-Belgian boundary committee couldn't demarcate a clear borderline, so they decided to negotiate the allocation of each single piece of land to one or the other country. Nowadays even the town hall of Barle-Nassau is located within a Dutch exclave and is surrounded by Belgian territory. This means that it is technically located within Belgium, but it is governed by Dutch laws and regulations. Our number 7 is the border between China and Nepal. The border between China and Nepal runs along the Himalayas, home to some of the tallest and most iconic peaks in the world, including Mount Everest, which is in itself one of the border points between China and Nepal. The border is approximately 1,236 kilometers or 768 miles long and runs from the tripoint with India in the south to the tripoint with Tibet in the north. The border between China and Nepal is home to a number of unique and endangered species, including the snow leopard, the red panda, and the blue sheep. Conservation efforts are underway to protect these animals and their habitats. Our number 6 is the border between Chile and Argentina. The Paso Internacional de los Libertadores, one of the border crossings between these two South American countries, holds the world record for the highest international border crossing point in the world. It is located in the Andes Mountains at an elevation of 3,390 meters or 11,122 feet and is only open from October to April due to heavy snowfall during the rest of the year. Another unusual aspect of the border between Chile and Argentina is that it is home to the Ojos del Salado, the highest active volcano in the world. The volcano is located on the border between the two countries and is part of the Andes Mountains. It is an active stratovolcano with a height of 6,893 meters or 22,615 feet and is a popular destination for mountaineers and hikers. Our number 5 is the border between India and Pakistan. The border between the two countries is known as the Line of Control, and it is one of the most heavily guarded borders in the world. The border is not a continuous line, but rather a series of sectors that are separated by geographical features such as rivers and mountains. There is a flag-lowering ceremony held at the Wagah border crossing between Pakistan and India every day. The ceremony involves the lowering of both countries' flags and a closing of the border gates in a display of military precision and national pride. There is a train service that runs between Pakistan and India, called the Samjhauta Express, which means agreement in Hindi. The train's name is intended as a symbol of the peace process between the two countries. Our number 4 brings us back once again to the United States, but this time we look at its southern border with Mexico. The border between these two countries is one of the busiest in the world, with millions of people and billions of dollars worth of goods crossing it each year. About 700 miles of the border are fenced. These barriers have been the subject of much debate and controversy in recent years, with some arguing that they are necessary to protect the country's borders, while others argue that they are overly aggressive and do more harm than good. From 1979 until 2007, the residents of Naco, Mexico, and Naco, United States, played volleyball over the border fence, batting the ball back and forth between the two countries. This annual tradition ended in 2007, when a taller border fence meant volleyball could no longer unite the twin towns. We have reached the podium with our number 3 today, the border between Brazil and Venezuela. The border between these two South American countries is 3,725 kilometers or 2,307 miles long. It is the longest border that Brazil shares with a single country. The border runs from the tripoint with Guyana in the north to the confluence of the Orinoco and Apure rivers in the south. One of the most interesting crossing points across this border is the Bridge of No Return over the Orinoco River. It is called the Bridge of No Return because it was once used by Venezuelan officials to exile political prisoners to Brazil, from which they could not return. The bridge is no longer in use and has fallen into disrepair. Another unique feature on this border is Angel Falls, which is the highest waterfall in the world at over 3,000 feet. The falls are located on the border between the two countries and can be accessed from either side. Our number 2 is the border between Russia and Norway. Being merely 198 kilometers or 123 miles long, it is the shortest border that Russia shares with a single country. It is NATO's oldest land border with Russia, and it is also the only land border that Russia shares with a member of the European Union. It is marked by the Barents Sea, which serves as a natural divide between the two countries. One unusual feature of this border is the presence of the Kirken Snow Hotel, which is located in Norway but is just a few hundred meters from the Russian border. The hotel is built entirely out of ice and snow and is a popular tourist attraction for both Russian and Norwegian visitors. Dear friends, we finally reached our number 1 for today, and it is the border between South Korea and North Korea. In spite of being named the Demilitarized Zone or DMZ, it is one of the most heavily militarized borders in the world. The Korean DMZ is a 4 kilometers or 2.5 miles wide buffer zone that was established as part of the Korean Armistice Agreement of 1953, which ended the Korean War. The DMZ is considered a de facto border, but it is not recognized as an official international boundary. One unusual feature of this border is the presence of the Joint Security Area, which is a small area where officials from both countries can meet and negotiate. The Joint Security Area is located in the DMZ and is the only place where citizens from both countries can interact with each other. As you see, the world is full of unusual and unique borders that are marked by natural features, cultural exchange programs, and even disputed territories. These borders serve as a reminder of the diversity and complexity of the world's nations and the unique histories and cultures that have shaped them. That was all for today. Thank you for staying with us until the end. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and check out our other videos here at Top 10 Today.